I'm having breakfast with Mary Lee. I'm having breakfast with Mary Lee.
Hi, Barry Lee, your host, and proud to announce that thanks to technology, the podcast is now being offered with reduced fat. Basically, that just means that I'm not eating anything during the production process. 2 superhuman beings and 2 interviews on this podcast. We're all familiar with how Watts keeps homeless people warm during the winter months. Well, they're now offering cooling centers during the summer months. Robyn Miller, the executive director of Watts, will be joining me. And then at the end of the podcast, local icon Leonard Kraemer just celebrated his 99th birthday, and I was able to squeeze in a short interview at his party. So stay tuned for that. Right now, your brain buster. According to a British survey, we smile 7 times a day. And one of those smiles is a false smile. The majority of those false smiles are directed at who? Is it A, our boss, B, a cashier, or C, our significant other? Your answer coming up at the end of the podcast. Right now, let's talk about keeping our homeless cool. Watts, Winchester area temporary transitional shelter. We're familiar with the good work they do in the cold weather months, November through March, but they also take care of the homeless when it's hot outside. We're talking about the cooling center. Here to tell us all about it, please welcome back Robyn Miller, Executive Director of Watts. Robyn, great to connect again.
Thank you so much for having me.
I love your mission statement, breaking the cycle of homelessness one life at a time. And we've talked before on the podcast about the good work you do during the wintertime, not just providing shelter and food and companionship, but also just helping people transition out of homelessness. And more on that in just a bit. But Robyn, tell us how you're helping out the homeless in the hot months of July and August.
Yes, as you know, we've been adding new programs to what we do all the time. And one of the things that came out in 2020, and one of the things that many of our guests have told us, is that it was just as hard in the summer as it was in the winter, especially during the day because of the intense heat and not having a place to go inside safely and take a long break and sit in air conditioning. And thankfully, in 2021, we started the cooling center. And once again, it's been incredibly successful and getting not just Watts guests that we would see at night, but other people that may be living in their cars. Because imagine if you have to run your car to have air conditioning, how much gas that would take. So it's open door to anybody. It operates at Market Street United Methodist Church. Once again, they have been incredibly generous in allowing us to have a safe place for people to come. They just need to ring the doorbell, and they're there from noon to 5. We have lots of snacks. This season, we've been very fortunate that so many churches and individuals and Love to Nick have been in there to provide lunches for them, which has been amazing. And our average is already up to 42 people a day. Guests can come and go at will. During that intense heat we had last week, we had 52 to 55 people throughout the day coming in and just needing a break and something to drink. And it really opens up opportunities for us to meet people who are in need that we might not have met any other way.
And real quick, you also provide showers. Tell us about Shower Sundays.
We do. As you can imagine, when it is hot like this, all you'd want to do is come home and shower. But they don't have that opportunity. Mount Carmel very generously opens their showers on Wednesdays, but that's 1 shower a week. And a lot of my guests have to go to work, and they want to be clean. So thankfully, between Braddock Street United Methodist Church and First Baptist Church, they both have showers, and volunteers have stepped forward. So every Sunday, the showers are open to anyone who wants to come and take a shower. From this August, it'll be from 1 to 3, and they're welcome to come and just take a nice, cool shower.
What do you need in the way of volunteers for the cooling center or the showers?
The showers are thankfully covered, but for the cooling center, actually, as I mentioned, we try to have a meal every Friday, just so we can guarantee there's food here. So we do have 3 more Fridays left in August that we need meals for. It doesn't have to be anything expensive or grand. It's just to make sure that there's something for them to eat for lunch. So if anyone would like to volunteer, either just drop off the food or even come in and volunteer to serve the food, we have August 11th and 18th and 25th that still need to be covered for meals. And we have an Amazon wish list for other items that we need. Our biggest need all the time is coffee and sugar and water and coffee creamer, because it is the biggest thing we go through, and it's something that we can keep and use when the winter season comes, because we do have the warming center opening up in November also. So we will shut down, but then we'll reopen again when the weather starts getting colder.
And to benefit the Cooling Center, you have a barbecue chicken dinner fundraiser coming up, and tell us about that.
We do. We have a barbecue chicken fundraiser with cooperation from the Moose. It'll be August 19th and September 9th. And you can either buy chicken for yourself, or you're welcome to just buy it for a guest too, because that way we can provide yet another meal for the guests. And also we have our caring and sharing event, and that'll help fund us through our winter season. And that is also at the Moose. And it's just a really fun night of music and good food and raffles. It'll be September 21st. And we would love donations of baskets for our raffles. And of course, we would love people to come out and attend. It's really a fun night.
I tell you, you're busy.
We are. We've added so many new services to really meet the needs of people experiencing homelessness. Unfortunately, the problem is growing, and we want to meet their needs as quickly as we can. So we've grown, and of course, when you grow, that means you, of course, need more money to cover those new expenses. So we are trying to meet the needs of the homeless community to really end homelessness in our area.
Robyn, before we go, it's more than helping keep people cool and keeping people warm and providing food. Talk about a few of the other services that you and your staff provide to the homeless.
Our biggest service that started very small, and it's become our fastest growing service, is our Transition Out of Homelessness program, where we have staff members that work with the guests actually year round to get them the things they need to end their homelessness. And those things sometimes sound like they're simple to us, but they're critical for them. Things like getting their birth certificate so they can get identification, because if you don't have identification, you can't get a job, you can't apply for housing, you can't even go to a hotel and get a motel room because you don't have any proof of who you are. Most people are like, well, that's not a big deal. It's a massive importance to someone to actually overcome their homelessness. We make doctor's appointments for them and make sure they get there, because those are also important things. If you're sick and not feeling well, it's really going to limit how you can progress.
Absolutely. Robyn, how do we find out about your services as far as a website and Facebook page?
Our website is watts-homelessshelter.org. We are also on Facebook and Instagram. You will find my email address and phone number on all of those locations. You're welcome to call me at any time. I'd love to talk to you. We've had a wonderful season this year so far, and I'm really looking forward to the winter season. We just added another week. Another church stepped forward, Montauk Avenue United Methodist Church. So we've gone from 20 weeks this winter to 21, and hoping to add more, because it's really important to get people off the street.
Wow. You know what's so incredible about this, Robyn, is the fact that you give the opportunity for people and churches to serve and to be more than just a Sunday sort of a thing. And it just fills you with pride to think about how many caring people in this community come together to make these programs possible. So well done. It's a total band of angels all the way from the top to the volunteers. Winchester Area Temporary Transitional Shelter, Robyn Miller, Executive Director. Bless your heart. Thanks for what you do.
Thank you.
Coming up, a fun chat with Leonard Kraemer on his 99th birthday. Right now, though, let's check out the podcast planner, nationaldaycalendar.com. Monday, August 7th is Purple Heart Day. In 1782, George Washington started a badge of merit, honoring those soldiers who exhibited military merit. It was made out of material with a Purple Heart on it. The name of the award was later changed to Purple Heart, and beginning in 1944, the award focused on those who were wounded or killed in combat. Tuesday, August 8th, it's National Pickleball Day. Man, that sport has just taken the country by storm, and we have some great opportunities right here in our community. Tuesday is also International Cat Day and Frozen Custard Day. Wednesday, the 9th, it's National Book Lovers Day. What book influenced you the most? On Thursday, the 10th, it's National S'mores Day, and it's also National Lazy Day. Friday, the 11th, is Play in the Sand Day and National Sons and Daughters Day. On Saturday, the 12th, we observe World Elephant Day. It's also Vinyl Record Day. My first LP, The Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Still got it. And Saturday is National Garage Sale Day, which is why we have the Route 11 Yard Crawl, 43 miles of bargains. And on Sunday the 8th, it's International Left-Handers Day. A tip of the headphones to my daughter, Brooke, and my sister-in-law, Marcia. A little over a week ago, Leonard Kraemer celebrated his 99th birthday. Leonard is one of those guys that whenever you're around him, he makes you smile. He's got a great sense of humor and a great sense of community service. He has served on all kinds of boards, and just with the Lions Club alone, the Winchester Host Lions Club, he joined in 1979, 44 years as a Lion, and they voted him president 3 times. I was so grateful to spend a little time with him on his birthday celebration, and here's how it went. 99 years, Leonard. How many children?
8.
How many grandchildren?
15 or 20. Well, I don't know most of them. They're scattered.
All right. I'm sure everybody asks you, so what is the secret to making it to 99 years?
Trying to stay out of arguments and always call the policeman sir.
What do you attribute that positivity and that humor to?
I take a lot of positive from 2 people. My father, who I worship, and my late wife, who I adore still. She was a perfect person. We were married for, 70 years or something, and we never had a serious argument. We had discussions, but never a bad word, never a loud talk. Nobody believes me. It'd be 72 years, plus another 5, because we were together in high school. Wow. No disputes. Discussions, yes, but just calm. We found out that we loved our life because we never argued about anything. And we had 8 kids. And we discussed the kids, but we didn't even argue about them.
Happy birthday. Love ya.
Love you too.
Before we close out with the Brain Buster, how about that story that dominated the news last week about the guy in Japan that spent $14,000 to become a collie? Yeah, it was an elaborate costume that took so long to make. I mean, the guy really looks like a collie. And he's gotten so much into the role that he even eats dog food. I wonder if he allows himself to sit on his sofa. Let's see how you did on the Brain Buster. According to a British survey, we smile 7 times a day, and one of those smiles is a fake smile. The majority of those false smiles are directed at who? Is it A, our boss, B, a cashier, or C, our significant other? And the answer is A, our boss. Thanks so much for joining me on the podcast. Share my website where others can tune into the podcast, breakfastwithbarrylee.com. And since we were talking about dogs, I close with this thought. Why is it that my wife can kiss our dog on the lips, and yet she won't drink out of my glass? Anyway, thanks for tuning in and have a blessed week.